everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell, click the word all, so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. If you have not been receiving those notifications, please double check to make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. You know how ScrewTube does. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page and find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so listen to this. So they say a group of white and Asian parents sue BPS over exam that school uses for admissions policy. Honey, this sounds like an episode of Good Times. Y'all remember that time on Good Times when James in Florida went up to the school to complain about the tests that were being given to Michael, and they said that they were biased against black children. You know, the things that they were asking, they didn't really pertain to black households. So some of the black people or black kids would know the answer. So I find it so interesting that the people who are the status quo are now complaining about admissions to schools being unfair for them. Make it all make sense. These tests have been, you know, historically biased against black people, right? That's just what it's always been. And so a group of white and Asian parents are suing Boston Public Schools, seeking to have a federal appeals court force the district to admit at least 5 of their children into the system's elite exam schools. They want to admit them into there. They deserve to be there. How dare you not? Now, they say in a lawsuit filed Tuesday in federal appeals court in Boston, the Parent Coalition for Academic Excellence argues that a temporary admission policy passed on zip codes last year deprived their children of seats in the schools, even though the students had high enough grades. They say BPS this year switched to another admissions policy, also meant to increase diversity in the exam schools by allotting seats based on areas with similar socioeconomic. Now, BOPS said Wednesday that it could not comment on pending litigation. The plaintiffs could not be reached for comment as of Wednesday, but Lisa Green of the Boston Coalition of Education Equity said their lawsuit's primary argument seeks to effectively prohibit any consideration of race in government decision making. In other words, stop letting black folk in and seeing y'all trying to be all inclusive, right, and diverse. I don't want to hear that. Okay, they don't want any diversity. That's what they don't want. Everything's all about them. Pay attention. Now they say what the suit is really about is overturning affirmative action. There you have it. There you have it. Okay? They think the black people are just being given a bit too much privilege. Isn't that ironic? I mean, that's absolutely so asinine to me. But let me share my screen so you all can see these schools out here protesting, doing absolutely the most, as if they're really being oppressed or subjugated in any way. It's also hilarious when you really think about it. I mean, they really try to make themselves victims when they absolutely are anything but. No wonder they don't want people talking about critical race theory, honey, because they cannot have the truth be told that they are the villain, not the victim, as they often portray themselves. Okay? Like stuff.
Isn't just for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month.
Everybody should be represented because it's history and it's not accurate if we're leaving out stories.
The near North Side Chicago Public School is integrating Asian American history and culture into the curriculum in interactive ways.
It makes me feel pretty happy.
Skinner North recently partnered with Circa Pintig to act out stories of Filipino Americans on stage.
I remember when we were getting started in one of the classrooms, we said, okay, it's time for reading now. And the kids are like, oh, reading. Oh, but you're going to be acting. You're going to be acting the stories. And then there was like this big cheer.
Their approach could be a model for schools across the state. The TEACH Act, or Teaching Equitable Asian American Community History, was signed into law last summer, requiring Asian American history be taught in K-12 schools. It goes into effect next school year.
There's so much data and research to support how important it is to have this type of curriculum.
Especially here at Skinner North, where Asian students make up the largest racial group, 44%. Across CPS, only 4% of students are Asian.
Asking my son about his take on things has been so interesting because he gets it, and it's so heartwarming as a mom, that he understands the value of learning a more robust history.
The TEACH Act came in response to the rise in anti-Asian racism fueled by the rhetoric surrounding the pandemic.
Even if you are not Asian American yourself, if you learn about our history and our culture, you can help us feel like we are a part of our society and we have done stuff to contribute.
Those who have been working behind the scenes on implementing the Teach Act say Asian American history is American history, and they're looking forward to that part of America's story being taught in classrooms across the state starting in the fall.
And the irony that they have a black man reporting on it, honey, when they know darn well, first of all, okay, y'all teaching Asian history when less than 4% of the school population is Asian, but y'all don't want to teach critical race theory. Y'all don't want to talk about black people's history, honey. I find that also hilarious and nefarious at the same time. And then the white lady sitting there said, oh, yes, it's just so good that they want to teach a robust history. Not robust, honey. Well, if it's taught and you're trying to be diverse, what's the problem with critical race theory? Oh, that's right, because they don't want to tell about all the ills and the depraved racist acts that they have done to black people throughout the century. But now they've made a law, honey, they have to teach Asian American history, and they say they've contributed to this country. Well, no one has contributed to this country more so than black people, honey. But they don't want to talk about our contributions. They don't even want to talk about the heinous things they've done to us and our ancestors and the things that they, in fact, continue to do. That's what they don't want to have conversations about. Do you see how this is all such bullshit, honey? Everybody in this country gets some type of tangibles. They get reparations. They get laws enacted for them to protect them when they're not even in danger. They get their culture and all of these things taught in school, but they just want to seem like they want to just wipe black people, American black people, off the map, honey. Don't talk about us. Don't even let us live here in peace. Commit genocide on them. We got to get rid of them. Oh, but before we do, let's take their DNA and their stem cells and all that. It's just all too much, honey. These people are so nefarious as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this, because it's just a load of BS as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, these people always want to play the victim. Stand out there protesting about their culture and history being taught in American schools. Are they teaching American history in their countries? I am so sure they are not. Okay. Anyway, make it all make sense. So with that all being said, and here's the thing. They have other immigrants coming over here. How come they're not teaching Jamaican history, Trinidadian history? How come they're not talking about African history? I'm just curious. Yeah, we all know why. Anyway, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen goes live. And if you haven't been receiving your notifications, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page and follow me on Twitter at @DGoddessJ.